Alright, what is going on, guys? It is Benny, and today I've got some more top ladder gameplay for you guys, and I just really quickly wanted to touch on the fact that I think Mortar with Skeleton King is one of, if not the best win condition that we have right now in top ladder and in Clash Royale. If you guys go on Royale API and if you look at the top players and if you look at what they're running with Mortar, everybody is running some version, or at least most people are running some version with Skeleton King, and it's like any combination that you're using with that is going to be good, which I think is crazy. It's not very often. Actually, I don't even know if we've ever seen the same kind of level of domination for so long with Mortar Skeleton King. It is pretty crazy, and it's going to be kind of untouched with the balance changes. I know Cannoneer is getting a bit of a nerf, but I don't think that's really going to make a difference to the fact that Skeleton King is just absolutely crazy right now. Now, he's got a bit of a push here. We're going to figure out how we want to deal with this. I'm going to go for the defensive Mortar, and then this will be a bit of an interesting defense. I'm really hoping he doesn't get a Prince down, because that would just completely ruin my day. And I went for the Skeleton King there, guys, sorry, not the Skeleton King, for the Skeleton Barrel, just to distract the Mega Minion, to make it a little bit easier for me to defend, especially if he tried to play like a Prince or something behind, then that would have been the best play. And then I do have to play my minions there, unfortunately, but that's okay. I'm going to go for the Evil Mortar now, because we have a bit of a counter push going with it, just in case he tries to play anything. Plus, we have the 2 mortars down, so, you know, that is always just a little bit of an extra line of defense. However, I don't think we're going to be getting a lock onto the tower there, unfortunately. If anything, I'm going to have to defensive Skeleton King, and then I do want to leave it at that, I think. I don't think I want to go too much more aggressive. I could go for the Evo Skeleton Barrel, but I don't even think it's going to get to the tower with the Dagger Duchess and everything being pretty low there. But all in all, I'm not mad about this start. We have some decent damage. I do have to be careful that I don't let him build up too big of a push, though. That's going to be something really important. Now, just as I say that, he's definitely going to build up a pretty decent push. So let's go ahead, let's get this defense ready, and then he's going to split the guards in the back. That's a little bit interesting, but no big deal there. Let's just cycle the Berserker, I guess, and then I will Bar Barrel here. We can get another Ice Wizard down, which is pretty good, and then let's just get the Skeleton King here. I was about to say, I'm curious if this guy has Graveyard. I felt like there was something coming, and there it is. So we are going to poison on all of that. I'm glad I didn't poison on the rest of his push. And then he's going to go for another Giant. Let's go ahead, let's get a Berserker right here, especially because we will have the Ice Wizard to slow everything down for another second. And so we can defend that stuff pretty easy. And then I guess I'll go for a Skeleton King here, just to like have a bit of a counter push. I'm glad I did that so that he can't get the Goblin Curse down. And then I'm going to Bar Barrel, and then I'm going to go for the minions plus the Skeleton Barrel there. And the minions will push the Skeleton Barrel to get that onto the tower, which is going to be huge. And then I'm going to wait to play my Ice Wizard. We do get a ton of damage there, and he has to use his Zap. Let's go ahead and press the advantage here, actually, a little bit. He's going to go for the Giant and for the Graveyard, so I was hoping that we would get the Mortar lock, but we locked onto the Graveyard somehow there. That's kind of crazy, but we should get one shot at least on the tower, so that's going to be really, really good damage for us. And then I guess let's do the Skeleton Barrel with the Barbarian Barrel again. We might as well. And then I will have the defensive Mortar there, and we do need to be ready for this guy to use a Goblin Curse. We got some great damage on the tower there, though. That is huge. Let's go ahead, let's get all of this down right now, and then let's poison, and then we can worry about the rest of his push. So I'll go ahead and I'll play the Skeleton King right here. Let's just Bar Barrel on all of those guards there, and we'll take them out. And then hold up, wait, that might have been a mistake. I need to be ready for him to curse on those minions, just in case. Alright, yeah, we are going to get the Berserker down there, just to make sure that we don't take too much damage. And then let's get the defensive Mortar down again. I played it one tile to the right, just because I'm worried he might go for the left side, which it looks like he will, so that would be a pretty easy defense. He messed up with the Mega Minion, so I don't really have to worry too much about that. Let's just get the Berserker down right here, and then he's going to play the Wizard there. Alright, no big deal. And then I guess we might as well just go ahead and get another Mortar down here, because we have that defensive Mortar to take out his Wizard. And then I can just play my minions right here. Let's get an Ice Wizard down as well. We might get the Mortar lock, actually. Looks like we will, so that's going to be some good damage again. And then we just have to really last and make sure that we don't get clapped off of one push, and we should be okay. He's going to go for the Dark Prince there. Let's just go ahead and let's get the Berserker down right here. I guess we didn't really need to even get it down, because the Mortar was going to pull, but that's okay, and then we can just get the minions right here. He got some decent damage there, but I'm not worried about it. I'm going to play the high mortar even just to really keep the pressure up on this guy, and we are going to get a win as we are getting closer and closer to the top 1000. Let's give him a good luck and go on into the next. Alright guys, next matchup, let's go ahead and just play the mortar first play because we love to do that, and then he's going to play the furnace. Oh my gosh, I feel like I am playing furnace in every single matchup. I'm playing furnace graveyard every single matchup, which is just disgusting. We will get some damage on the furnace though, so that's always great. And then let me think here, what do we want to do? I think I'm just gonna bar barrel. Ooh, okay, we got drill. All right, I can live with drill, to be honest. And then Skeleton King will take out that drill pretty easily for us, so that's going to be perfect. And then do I want to go for another mortar? You know what, I'm gonna do it just because why not. And then he's going to play the mighty miner, so that's going to completely ruin my chances of doing too much with my mortar there. And then I don't really know why he played the wall breakers, because like it'll stop the mortar from getting a certain, like, one extra shot. That was the difference there. And I don't think that was really worth it, but I will play a skeleton barrel here because I think that's going to be worth it. He's going to cannon, and then he might play his furnace. I'm not 100% sure, but if he does, that would be kind of crazy. So all in all though, actually I'm not mad about this start in any way. Let me think here, what do I want to do? I'll probably just bar barrel, and then Skeleton King, if he goes for another drill, I can just bar barrel right like that, and then we will take everything out. And so that will be a pretty easy defense. And then I'm just going to cycle my minions here to get those down because he's using Cannoneer, so he does have to play something for them. And then ooh, I think I should counter that, to be honest with you guys. And then I can go for my evil mortar on this side, and then I'm going to pop the Skeleton King ability right now because that's going to force him to have to use that mighty miner ability. And then I could go for my evil skeleton barrel into the opposite lane here actually, and we should get one mortar shot onto the tower here, so that is great damage. I'm very happy about that. And then we'll just kind of wait and see what he's going to do. He does log, so that's completely fine. The reason why I went into the opposite lane is just so that he couldn't, you know, play the counter to the skeleton barrel like the furnace and then have that in the same lane as the drill if he wanted to push the same lane as me. He's going to start the drill in the back, no big deal there. Let's just go ahead and let's poison on that and make sure that we take that out. And then he's going to poison as well, so we're gonna trade poisons here, which I am okay with. And then he's going to play the drill, so let's just get the Skeleton King down, and let's have a bar barrel down just in case he goes for anything too crazy. And then I'm just going to use my mortar here to pull those wall breakers, no big deal. Let's poison right there onto his furnace as well, I think. And then I'll Berserker here and pop the Skeleton King ability actually just to keep that pressure up. Maybe we can get him to use that log and we can go for the Skeleton Barrel here. And then he'll probably have to cannon, which he does. And so then I can mortar here because he can't play the cannon at the bridge to defend against my mortar. And then I'm going to play the minions here, and then I'm just going to have to bar barrel, I think, to make sure that I don't take too much damage off of this push here. And then, what do I want to do here? He's going to play the wall breakers. I don't really understand why he just did that. That doesn't really make sense to me, but I mean, like, to each your own, I guess. And then I can just play the Berserker right here. Let's get the Skeleton King down on this here, on the drill, to make sure that we don't take too much damage. I'm actually going to bar barrel there just to, again, make sure of that. And then because he went so aggressive, I can play my mortar now. And we do have the, the Barbarian in front of it. And then I will play the Berserker here to keep that pressure up on this guy. He does get the Furnace to kind of just absolutely shred everything, but we will take the Furnace out. Let's go ahead, let's get a Skeleton Barrel going towards the tower. We do get the minions on the tower as well, which is absolutely huge. But I do have to play the Ice Wizard here, I think, to make sure that we don't take too much damage. But the Skeleton Barrel will take the tower, so it doesn't even matter. Let's give him a good game, give him a good luck, and go on into that. Alright guys, next matchup is we're up against Sebastian, and I'm just going to cycle the Berserker in the back here and see if we can get something going. And then he's going to play the Furnace right there. You know, we'd love to see that. I'm going to poison. I know I did it a little bit early, but honestly, I don't like leaking elixir. Oh my gosh, please do not be graveyard. I think this is frickin' graveyard. Of course it is. Like, why wouldn't it be? And I am realizing that this guy totally is going to have curse, so I need to get my Skeleton King down just to be safe. Because again, why wouldn't he have curse, you know? So we are going to defend all of that decently well, but I'm not loving this guy's deck right now, so we'll see what happens. Now let's I'm tempted to pop the Skeleton King ability, but you know what, I'm going to do it anyways because I just don't care. And then you know, that'll at least help out to take out the Goblin and keep the pressure up on this guy. And then I will play the Berserker right here just to keep that mortar alive and make sure that we can maybe get some damage. Looks like he is going to play the Furnace, so that's going to stop us from being able to do too much. I'll just bar barrel right here onto the furnace. That's too bad that we weren't able to get the fire spirit at the same time, but I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. And then I'll just cycle my skeleton barrel here, and we'll see what he does for that. He's going to ice spirit, so that's one of the cards, and then he has bar barrel. Maybe this guy doesn't have curse. I haven't actually been counting how many cards he's used so far, but I just feel like everybody is using curse right now. So I'm going to play my minions into the opposite lane here just to get that going, and then he's going to play the berserker, no big deal. Let's play the ice wizard right here just to help out with that knight, and then honestly I'll go for the mortar here into the opposite lane, especially because he played that graveyard, because I can just poison on it, and then I'll wait to bar barrel on that hut, and then so we'll do it now, and then he's going to bar barrel as well, so we will take out the hut, but his bar barrel will kind of slow us down there. I didn't need to play those minions, so I don't really know why I did that. This is going to be tough to break through only because he has the goblin hut with everything else. It's hard for me to use my poison in an effective manner just when he has all of these cards. I'm going to play my ice wizard here first, and then I'll probably skeleton king on all of this. Let's go ahead, let's poison first, and then I'm going to bar barrel onto the furnace there just to help take that out, and then the evil furnace does go down, which is huge, and then I'm going to pop my evil mortar here, and then let's go ahead and play the evil skeleton barrel into the opposite lane, and then he's going to play the goblin hut, so that's actually pretty good for us because all of those skeletons are going to put in some work for us, and then I'm actually going to poison onto that furnace there, and I'm going to get my berserker down. Let's go ahead and let's get an ice wizard down here as well. I don't think we're going to get a lock on the tower there, but we did put some decent pressure on him, so I'm going to get another mortar down. And then what do we want to do? I'm not 100% sure how I want to break through here. I think I'll go for the skeleton barrel into the opposite lane, see if we can force out a goblin hut, which we do, which is good. And then the mortar will help get some damage on it, at least, I guess. I'll play the berserker right here, and then I guess I might as well go for the high skeleton king, and then let's go for the ice wizard here. Let's pop the skeleton king ability. Ooh, that's not good. Okay, well, let me think here. I think that's going to be a pretty valuable poison. I know he's going to graveyard, but I think that I can defend that graveyard at least okay with the minions plus the berserker. And the furnace was a little bit more dangerous, I would say. So yeah, we will defend that decently well. We'll take out his furnace, and then let's go for the skeleton barrel to the opposite lane again. And then what do I want to do here? I'm going to bar barrel right here, and then let's go ahead and let's get the skeleton king down. That furnace is so annoying. I think I need to slow push here, to be honest with you guys. Let's go ahead, let's play the ice wizard here. Let's get a berserker going into the opposite lane just to get that going. Then I'm going to bar barrel here on defense, and then I'm going to start the skeleton king in the back. We're down by a bit of damage, but it's nothing too crazy. Let's go ahead, let's play the mortar into the opposite lane here, and then I'm going to berserker in case he plays the goblin hut. Let's go ahead, let's get the evil skeleton barrel here. Let's get the poison down right here, and then let's get some minions into this as well. He's going to get his furnace down. We love to see that, of course. And then let's get a skeleton barrel going into this lane. He did just use his bar barrel. That was the wrong lane to use his bar barrel, so we're going to get some great damage on the tower on that side. Okay, we need to keep this pressure up, and we need to make sure that that graveyard does not do too much. Holy crap. Okay, let's go ahead, let's get the skeleton king down here. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so close. Let's get our poison as well, and then oh my gosh, are we even going to get this? I actually can't tell if we're going to get the damage or not. I don't know if we're gonna have enough. Holy crap, did we win? Oh no, we lost that. That was crazy though. That was such a close matchup. Alright, you guys, for the next matchup, I wanted to give you guys a bit of a replay here just to show you guys how I dealt with a Giant matchup against Giant Sparky, because I think that that is one of the more difficult things you have to do when you're playing against Giant, especially with Sparky, because I feel like with Giant, you're just constantly playing defense, and it can be really hard to time when you're going to counter push. So you're going to see here, I got the defensive mortar. I shouldn't have played my Ice Wizard there. I don't really know why I did that, but doesn't make a difference in the end because Benny is always on top. And so I know that my defensive mortar is enough to really counter most Giants, so I don't really have to worry too much about his Giant specifically. I'm more worried about what's behind it. You'll see there he goes for the pump, so I went for the poison with the Skeleton King at the bridge because I don't want to let him build up an elixir advantage with the pump, and I was hoping that he wouldn't play, you know, barbarians of all things on my Skeleton King, and then the minions would charge up because they're in the opposite lane, and then I would be able to have a decent counter push, but I wasn't able to get away with that. And then I know I have really good damage on the right side, so I just need to let those barbarians go, and that's something that I think a lot of people make a mistake about, is over defending. And if I would have defended those barbarians, I would have been so low in elixir and I would have lost the match right there. So it was really important that I took that damage there so that I have enough elixir to defend this push that's coming my way. Now he's going to play the Giant with the Sparky, and I have the defensive mortar that locks onto the Sparky, and I know that the most important thing that I need to worry about is the Sparky, so I'm not even worried about the Giant necessarily. I'm just worried about the Sparky, so I go for the Berserker on it, and then the Sparky is going to go down from the poison, and I bar barreled because I was really scared that it wasn't going to, but we do end up on top there. And now I'm pretty worried because this guy is way up in elixir on me, as you guys can see, so he's going to go for the pump. So I know I just have to let that go. There's nothing I can do about that pump, but I know his deck is expensive, so I'll go for the Evil Mortar instead. And he is going to play the Barbarians, and now I'm like, crap, that is a lot. I don't really know how I'm going to defend this, but I play the Ice Wizard because I know it'll slow down those Barbarians, and I can maybe defend them a little bit better. And I'm going to go for the Skeleton King as well, and at this point, like, this guy should have it in the bag because I am so down on elixir. All the elixir I have on the board is going to get taken out by that Sparky, so I have to be careful here. So I'm pretty sure I go and eventually cycle a Skeleton Barrel, and the reason why I do that is because when it pops, it's going to land on the Sparky, and it's going to distract the Sparky and maybe even get some damage on it. He's going to give me great value out of my poison there, and the Skeletons did help slow that Sparky down, so that is amazing. And then I just play the Skeleton King on the Sparky because I know it can survive more than one shot, so I'm going to be safest in that point. And then I just bar barrel there on the Wizard with everything else, and we are going to take out that Wizard with the bar barrel. I have the Berserker there. I played the Ice Wizard to slow down his Wizard just to be even extra safe and make sure that I didn't take too much damage, and then I can just defensive mortar again. And then here was a little bit risky because, you know, if this guy was trying to one-trick me with a curse or something, if he was holding on to it, that minion would honestly like completely ruin my day. But I just go for the poison instead, and then I can bar barrel there on defense in a second here and get the win. Alright, you guys, for the last matchup, I wanted to show you guys a replay against Royale Hogs with Earthquake because I felt like that is a deck that a lot of people struggle with. Now, this guy was being a little bit unconventional using Inferno Tower. I don't really know what's up with that, but I mean, it works. So this guy is going to go for the Royale Hogs there, so I just bar barrel an Ice Wizard. Your Ice Wizard is actually going to be one of the best defensive cards that you can use against Royale Hogs. I know that it doesn't do a ton of damage, but it does do splash, and it does also help you a lot with slowing down their damage. So that is something really important. You're going to see I popped the Skeleton King ability there. That was just to distract the Inferno Tower and also maybe get some chip damage down on it. And that does let us get one shot off with the Mortar, I think, here. So that is pretty good and pretty helpful there. And then I just play the minions. Now, something about playing against Royale Hogs, and this works honestly for any Royale Hogs deck. I know this guy is using Inferno Tower instead of Cannon, but for any Royale Hogs deck, the minions are going to be one of the most difficult things for them to counter because they have to use the Royal Delivery there to counter the minions most of the time. And if you can time the way that they counter your minions and your Skeleton King ability and your Skeleton Barrel, you can really get some great value and damage on your opponent, and you can force them to really panic and mess up their defense. So right here, I'm going to go for the Skeleton King and the Ice Wizard. That's all my splash, and I'm going to notice that he played the Earthquake right there. And already, these are things that you have to pay attention to because when your opponent does something like that, you need to take advantage of it with your Mortar and with everything else. And so I'm going to go for the minions to catch the Inferno Tower there, and then I'm going to pop the Skeleton King ability. And right there, that was like exactly what won me this matchup here because he messed up. He gave me so much damage on the tower there, and it's all because he played the Inferno Tower and I was able to get it with the minions. He messed up playing the Earthquake because that was a lot of elixir, and so I have great damage on the tower. I have a great lead, and honestly, having one tower down is pretty amazing against Royale Hogs. And so now I just need to make sure that I'm playing my offense properly, and I'm really taking advantage of everything. And so I'm going to play the Mortar right here to defend against the Royale Hogs because it's going to pull both of them, so he's not able to get any damage onto the tower really, and both towers are firing onto the Royale Hogs to take them out. And then something I'm going to do is play the Skeleton Barrel, sorry, at the bridge. That's going to always be my cycle card, so if you're ever not sure what you should play, Skeleton Barrel at the bridge is like always the safest play unless they have Mother Witch, obviously. And then he's going to go for the Royale Hogs, so I just play the minions as well as the Skeleton King. Again, some of my best defensive cards against everything, and I played the Ice Wizard on the right side just in case he tried to go for the Royale Hogs on that side. And at this point, this guy gave up, so I know that I've got the win there, and I'm very happy about that because, you know, Royale Hog Earthquake is a very disgusting matchup. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. The Mortar tutorials are coming next week, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys in the next one.